On a Sunday afternoon in January, I opened a spreadsheet and typed in every recurring charge hitting my accounts. 21 rows later, one number sat at the bottom: $2,244 a year. Not stolen, not fraud, just subscribed. That's the strange thing about subscriptions, that no single charge feels big enough to fight. $15 here, $7 there, $12 somewhere else. It's death by 1,000 auto renewals, and almost nobody adds up the total until they're forced to look. Subscription pricing is a machine built on one trick: anchor low, bill often. A $99 product feels expensive. The same value at $8 a month feels like nothing, even though over a year you've paid more for less. The second gear in that machine is friction. Signing up takes one click. Canceling for years required showing up in person or mailing a certified letter. The exit is engineered to be harder than the entrance, on purpose. In 2023, the FTC sued Amazon over exactly this, alleging Prime's cancellation flow was buried behind so many screens that engineers internally nicknamed it Iliad, after the epic. The longer you stay confused, the longer you stay billed. My own audit had 3 streaming services alone. Netflix was $15.49 a month. Disney Plus added another $14. HBO Max stacked on almost 16 more. And I'd watched exactly one show on it since March. Then came the software. Adobe's Creative Cloud ran $55 a month for programs I opened 4 times a year. Dropbox added 12 more. A gym I hadn't entered since summer was quietly billing $45 on schedule every month. Add music, meal kits, a meditation app, and 2 free trials I'd forgotten to cancel, and the machine totaled $187 a month. Ledger entry, that's $2,244 a year. For convenience, I mostly wasn't using. By the way, I keep a directory of one-time purchase alternatives to over 200 subscriptions. It's called the Owned Life Directory. Link below. Costs less than 1 month of the average streaming bill. So I did the obvious, unglamorous thing. I sat down on a Saturday with my bank statement and cancelled every single one. Not a detox, not a trial. All 21, gone in about 90 minutes. One browser tab at a time. The first casualty was muscle memory. Friday night, I opened Netflix out of pure reflex before remembering I'd cancelled it 4 days earlier. The app was still on my phone. The habit outlived the subscription by a solid week. Spotify was harder. Music had been ambient wallpaper for a decade. Always on, never chosen. Without it, my apartment had actual silence for the first time since college, and silence, it turns out, takes some getting used to. Without an algorithm queuing up the next thing, I hit a strange wall. What do I even want to watch, or hear, or read? Years of recommendation engines had quietly done my deciding for me. Losing them meant relearning my own taste. Week 3 was the low point. I was bored in a way that felt almost embarrassing for a grown adult. No queue, no feed, no autoplay countdown. It wasn't sad exactly. It was just quiet, and I didn't yet trust the quiet. Then the boredom did something useful. I got a library card again, downloaded Canopy through it for free films, and put a $15 antenna on the window for local channels. The itch didn't need a subscription. It needed an alternative. The first real win showed up on a bank statement. $187 simply stayed in the account, not saved in some abstract sense, visibly, monthly, sitting there undisturbed. Ledger entry, month 1, 0 new subscription debits, first time in years. The second win was quieter. Without 4 apps competing for attention, my screen time dropped by roughly 90 minutes a day, matching what researchers have measured for people who remove autoplay-driven apps entirely. The third win surprised me most. Decision fatigue dropped. 21 monthly renewal decisions became 0. I wasn't reconsidering my gym, my cloud plan, or my meal kit every 30 days. I'd made the call once and the machine stopped asking. I also found free versions of nearly everything I'd been renting. Plex organized the movies I already owned. My library's ebook app covered most new releases. The paid version had rarely been buying convenience. Mostly it had been buying not looking. Auditing also surfaced the ugly part. 2 free trials had been quietly charging me $9.99 monthly for over a year. Nobody stole that money. I just never looked. Ledger entry, roughly $120 gone to nothing at all. By the way, I keep a directory of one-time purchase alternatives to over 200 subscriptions. It's called the Owned Life Directory. Link below. Costs less than 1 month of the average streaming bill. None of this makes me a purist. After 8 months, I let a few things back in, but only under one rule. It had to earn its spot every single month, not just the first one. Cloud backup was the first return. Losing a decade of photos to a dead hard drive costs far more than paying $6 a month to keep them safe forever. Some subscriptions aren't a tax, they're insurance, and insurance is worth buying. I also resubscribed to one streaming service on purpose for exactly 1 month to watch a show everyone was talking about, then canceled it again the day the finale aired. Renting the moment, not the habit, cost about $15 total. That became my rule for anything new. Wait 2 weeks before subscribing and ask if I'd still want it without the free trial's countdown timer creating fake urgency. Almost nothing survives 2 weeks of actually wanting it. For the things I use constantly, I went hunting for one-time purchase versions of the same job. One photo editor does most of what the subscription version does. For a single $70 payment, no monthly fee ever again for the software itself. Run that forward 5 years and the subscription would have cost about $3,300. The one-time alternative cost $70 once. That gap, roughly $3,200, is the whole argument in one comparison. Same story with Office software. A single lifetime license ran around $50 against a subscription $70 a year. By year 3, the subscription had already cost more than owning the program outright. Forever would ever cost me. Add it up and year 1's ledger read $2,244 in cancelled subscriptions minus roughly $400 spent on backup, 1 streaming month, and 2 one-time software licenses. Net saved just over $1,800. But the money undersells it. The bigger change was mental. Fewer apps competing for my attention. Fewer little decisions demanding renewal. Fewer moments of half noticing a charge and thinking, I should look into that, and then not looking. There's a specific calm to owning something outright, knowing it can't quietly reprice itself, get bought by a private equity firm, or vanish behind a paywall update next March. Rented convenience always answers to someone else's quarterly earnings call. Run the $1,800 forward, invested at a conservative 7% a year, and it becomes roughly $25,000 over 2 decades. That's not a hypothetical. That's what a cancelled gym membership can compound into. A year later, my recurring bills are almost boring. Rent, insurance, backup, and phone service. Everything else I own outright or borrow for free. Evenings are quieter, not because I'm disciplined, but because there's simply less pulling at me. By the way, I keep a directory of one-time purchase alternatives to over 200 subscriptions. It's called the Owned Life Directory. Link below. Costs less than 1 month of the average streaming bill. Would I go back for 1 or 2 things? briefly, gladly. For the other 19, no, I don't miss the shows. I miss, occasionally, the not thinking. But not thinking was never actually free. It cost $187 a month. The subscriptions didn't make me happier, and canceling them didn't either. Not directly. What changed was quieter than that. I stopped renting my attention back from companies that were never going to give it to me for less.